Now you are. Okay.
Audio.
And I'll get out of your hair in 1 second.
Oh, sorry, you guys questions?
I mean, I just disconnect.
Yeah, how do I disconnect?
Leave computer audio. It's right, it's the third from the
Yeah.
bottom. Yeah. I just get out of it.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Video, so I'll-
Here we go. Bella, are you going to be logging in too?
Co-host, okay.
I'm on.
Oh, there you are. Okay.
Thank you.
You are all co-hosts. Except for Brian.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark.
I'll be here for a little bit.
Okay. We're all good. Thank you.
Fingers crossed.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we're on. So, all right. Yeah. Great. So it is 6:34 p.m. I'm going to call this meeting to order. This is the January 2026 Outdoor Dining Working Group Committee meeting for Manhattan Community Board 2. I am Valerie Della Rosa. I am the chair of the Outdoor Dining Working Group and also the chair of CB2. I have Donna Raftery here to my left, and she is a member of the working group and is also the chair of SLA 1 and 2. Brian Pape, who is also a member of this working group and is also on the SLA 2. Is that right?
And landmarks. Yes.
And landmarks and assistant secretary of the board. And then we have Stella Fitzgerald, who is the vice chair of the working group. And joining us shortly will be Carter Booth, who is former SLA chair and is a member of the SLA committee and former board chair and is also on SLA 1 and 2. So let me just see. Okay, great. Thanks. Stella put the agenda in the Zoom chat. So we have 3 applicants here in person. So we have 8 items on the agenda. So we'll get everyone in and out. So I've made an offer to people who are here in the room. I'm not going to call on the first or second or third agenda item. We're going to go straight to agenda item 5. Then we will go to agenda item 4 and then agenda item 6. So we're going to start out with Gansevoort LLC, DBA Coffee plus Cocktails / Coin NYC / Saishin. You'll tell me if I said that correctly. 18th 9th Avenue for a Sidewalk Cafe. This was a resubmitted application. It was previously heard in November. And is there anyone here from the public before we have the applicant come up? Is there anyone here from the public on Zoom? I know that there's applicants here in the room. So is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to testify on agenda item number 5, Gansevoort LLC, DBA Coffee Cocktails, Coin NYC, Saishin? Okay, not seeing any hands. So the applicant, please come up.
I was in front of you in November.
You were
Didn't come.
not.
You were.
Oh.
You were.
But it.
Oh, no one noticed us. I never heard about it. Sorry. I apologize. I really didn't know about
Well,
it.
it was resubmitted, which I didn't, I would love to know how the resubmitting happened.
So the woman, Kat,
Cat? Mhm.
she reached out to us
Okay.
and that was only recently.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
then, so what I submitted, she sent me, can I show you the product,
Sure.
how this came about? So she gave me, this is what sorry. Wrong way. Sorry. 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 I did a bunch of different versions of this stuff.
That's all good. Give me a second to pull.
Okay.
You know, it's
This is what our existing situation was. So I hit a button.
oh.
We are.
Okay.
Okay, I'm so sorry. This was like right on like, which is always a mistake. I think.
There we go.
All right, sorry. This is the existing setup. Yeah, please edit that away.
We just don't need it.
I feel really bad.
Yeah.
So this was the existing situation, which had that walkthrough
Uh-huh.
space, okay? And then she sent me,
Which is what they sent in, just so you know, that's what they
Okay.
sent in November.
okay,
I mean, it might not have been that exact one, but that's the.
yeah,
letter
okay.
in November.
So she reached out to us for the first time that I'm aware, like a few weeks ago. And then it got submitted, she submitted, because I was really confused as to the process. And she said to me that she gave me this thing and she said, this is the 12 feet. This is the 12 feet. This is how she presented it to me.
Mhm.
And so then my response was, okay, can you work with this? And she said, yes. Now, I know you probably are, Donna, I know you have a different interpretation. I'm not going to argue, but it is what it is. But this is what she said was okay, because all I did was I said, okay, I'll live with everything you're saying. I just want to squeeze as much seating into it as possible. And that's why she approved this. I mean, I have that in writing, not fighting about it, but I'm just telling you. And then I submitted it to you guys. Okay. And I know that you guys have some issues with it, but I don't know how else to do the process other than to have the discussion with the person from DOT. And then this is what she said was fine, and that she would submit it and that I would hear from you guys. And that's the first time I heard from you guys about this meeting. So I apologize if I missed the meeting. So that's where we are today, is what I submitted.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Let's see.
Yeah, of course. So the bottom one is what I wanted. It was what the way we're operating today. The second one is what she gave me back. And then the third one is what she approved.
Okay, because that's interesting because, so this is the first one. And then this is the one that we received, which
Mhm.
looks like it's the one
In between,
in between.
right? But
Are there differences between?
no, it's the exact same thing, except
Okay.
except I squeezed in a lot more seating in the same
Oh, okay.
Oh,
spaces.
yeah.
Okay.
I just squeezed in I'm sorry, Carter. I squeezed in what I could fit and she said, it's fine. She has no issue with us having a greater amount of seating in there if we think we can operate that way.
But the dimensions are the same.
100% exactly the same.
Yeah, no, it's in. What's it say? Yeah.
Yeah.
The same footprint.
Yes, same footprint, but just more stuff squeezed in.
So
Gives me a similar count to what I was operating with already.
before.
Yeah.
So how do we get a copy of that?
You can have that. And I'll have it emailed to you tomorrow by Paul.
Okay. So that's different than what's in the package.
It's just more seating in the same exact,
Same box.
Okay,
same box.
okay, okay. And Carter Booth has joined us.
I was online.
Oh, okay. I didn't see.
He's omnipresent.
Okay, what other comments? And there's things in the chat.
So I think one of the questions that came up before was, where exactly is the property line for
The
the
property line is right here, sorry.
hotel?
So the property line is, these posts are just inside my property line, so the property line is like
Okay.
like this.
Okay. And all
Something
the
like that.
way,
It goes all the way across, because I have a wood deck, goes all the way to here, and then I have stone, and then I have a wood deck that starts here again, goes all the way like this. So this is basically,
So in relationship to your neighboring building, is it just slightly back from the face of their wall? Is that what you're expressing there, or?
this is basically even.
It's gonna be very
basically-
close.
It's basically even with that.
Okay,
Yeah, this is-
basically should be in line with
Yeah,
that.
it's basically in line. with
All
that.
right.
So I'm backing the sections into my space.
Okay, well, I got some big ones for you, but whenever you think
Thoughts?
it's appropriate.
Yeah,
Okay, so unfortunately, the interpretation of dimensions is not what we understand the rules to be. In your application, you've got the 12-foot corridor path is correct. But I believe, and I'll ask this for affirmation in the committee that the specific list of clearances to various objects like kiosks and so on has a lesser distance for clearance. Tree pits is one of those items. It says 8 feet. But the way we measure to the tree pit is in all directions from the tree pit. So you'd really need to draw a radius of 8 feet from the tree pits to make sure that there's always clearance of at least 8 feet.
So have you guys done an analysis of that? Or is it because, have you done an analysis of that? What it leaves? I'm asking. No. Okay. Okay.
Well, so, I mean, it's going to be, it's better for you in the terms of you're not using a 12-foot radius.
Okay, so yeah, okay, great. So it's basically 2/3 of this. So
Yes.
basically,
Yeah,
I'm swinging
that's right.
that, I'm basically swinging there.
That's right.
But Brian,
Is that not the way we interpret it?
8
No?
feet is the minimum for a tree pit,
Mhm,
but this is the global corridor,
mhm.
which ups it to the 12.
Oh, so there's not a,
There's no flag for
Choice.
that, okay.
there's not a choice there.
Because it's directly, if it's directly parallel, if it was diagonal from the sight line, if it was over here, it would only need to be the 8
Right.
feet, but if it's when it's directly
Like if it's
across.
offset from the cafe,
Yeah.
then it triggers the 8 feet.
But when the
Doesn't
clear
make
path is larger than,
Okay. I'm sorry, I was trying to find a middle ground, but that's
Okay,
not
so
the way.
I drew this because I knew this was gonna happen. So, because I drew it at 12. That was why I was surprised about the 8, because it changed what I was gonna
Mhm.
ask for that. This is what, guys, listen, I'm not gonna fight with you guys. I'm gonna present you the alternative and it sucks and it is what it is. But I really think that if you guys want the community and CB2 and the restaurants in the neighborhood to be successful, you guys need to go back and fight for something different, because you're going to destroy what makes a lot of these areas amazing. Not you, the city, not you. I apologize that was my wording. The city is going to destroy things like pastis, which, by the way, I don't make money off pastis, but the neighborhood has so much flow because of people like pastis, and this is going to also destroy Dos Caminos. It's just going to kill what makes one of the things that makes the area really special is this cafe feel to it and this European feel. And this is going to go completely away now.
So we actually passed a resolution saying that to support small businesses, that we actually have a row of 2 tops against the building. You shouldn't have to be required to have the barriers as long as you meet the clear path requirements. We didn't make these rules.
I'm not blaming you. I'm
Yeah.
saying to you, though, that you guys really should go and fight for that, because the twos aren't even enough. Like Pastis is going to literally lose $5-10 million of revenues. It's insane what they're going to lose. I'm not going to lose as much in revenues, but I'm going to lose as much in exposure. And it's just really bad for the neighborhood to lose this. And there are a lot of really nice restaurants that this is going to make a huge dent in their ability to make money. And the summer and spring and early fall is when we all can actually make real money. The rest of the year, we don't make money other than the holiday season. And so I really think that if you guys really want the success of these neighborhoods, you guys got to go and fight for this, because this is a huge mistake by the way they've drawn this up. The woman from the DOT said, beyond the fact that she was laughingly and kindly said that she loves the way we've set it up currently, she said, but it's not allowed. Okay. And I said, I get it. And I wasn't going to argue with her either.
Just for one thing, and I'm just going to interject
Yeah.
on that point.
Yeah.
I understand some of us differ about that.
Yes.
But there have been a lot of complaints from the neighborhood about the way you have it set up now, because everybody doesn't want to walk on the cobblestones. It's the cobblestones that are in the plaza that the past 2 years I've gotten emails from people.
I know, but people,
I know.
everyone just walks through. So
Right.
people just have to be used to it. But I get it. I get it.
But-
Listen, not everyone, I can't make everybody happy no matter what, right? So,
I know.
but here is drawn with the 12-foot. Okay. I don't know if it's perfectly accurate, but it's basically me giving up pretty much all of my outdoor seating off property. It just leaves me this little bit on the corner. And what I would ask Carter, and Donna, because you're also on that committee.
I'm not.
Oh, you're not, the SLA one?
No.
Okay, and you are, because I've seen you there many
Yes,
times. I don't know if you are. But I ask that you guys be supportive when I come back from my application to be able to say pretty much what I'm losing across the way, I want to be able to squeeze on my property. So I'm sorry, God, I really apologize. I apologize, I keep hitting buttons. Maybe I don't want them to, actually, no, but I've had no problems with the operation of my cafe, and I believe you all are aware of that there's just been no real issues. And I would really like to try to gain back that seating within my own property line. So I'm going to squeeze what I can, and I brought this so we can be done with this quickly, and I can just move on with my life, and then I'll try to fight with the city to change the DOT rules. But I would appreciate if you guys would support that effort, because I think it's really, really, really bad for all the operators in this neighborhood for what's about to happen. It's going to kill the summer.
I have a question though. I mean, you're talking some pretty large numbers of revenue. When does the city get any of that? Because it's city property, and there's so many problems with this. One of them, this is one of the most valuable outdoor areas there is, and there's hardly anything paid for it. So
I know,
and the other part is that most of the rules, the reason that they were changed was to actually allow the outer boroughs. The one thing that you hear repeated over and over is the other 4 boroughs and outdoor dining there. We've always had outdoor dining here, and it's not intended to necessarily have huge expansive areas of outdoor seating. What it was, from what we've heard, it was there to supplement, to have some outdoor seating for everybody. It wasn't to have huge outdoor.
Are you talking about the rules that were passed during COVID, or are you talking about
the most
okay.
recent ones? I mean, a lot of that is really geared towards the other boroughs, not to maximize them. Why I just bring this up?
I hear you, Carter, but from my perspective as an operator, okay, and I think if you speak to Steven Starr, and I don't want to speak for him because I haven't spoken to him on this topic, but if you speak to Steven's team, or you speak to Dos Caminos' team, I will tell you that what you're going to see is, and not necessarily those restaurants, but you're going to kill the profitability of those restaurants. And the reality is if they want the city to be a successful, vibrant place, you should want people to have the greatest amount of sales possible. I'm just telling you, we are in a very, but I think we're in a very tight margin business.
I understand that.
Minimum wage has gone up and our margins are awful. So if you want us to all survive, and if you want the city to have vibrancy and interesting areas where people are going to enjoy those areas, the difference between the meatpacking district with people walking through that neighborhood and having a place to have a cafe experience and not having that is going to be dramatic.
I mean, all I'm pointing out is that you're throwing around numbers that nobody ever sees except the restaurant owners. And if there needs to be a separate program to take that into account, I think that's very fair.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
the
we
outdoor
asked.
dining program, when you listen to our electeds who pass these rules, and we made a whole series of recommendations which were not accepted. These are all one size fits all.
Yeah.
The same rules that apply here apply in the Rockaways, they apply in deep Brooklyn, in Queens, in the smallest places. And many people there can't even afford to apply to the program because the costs and their rents are so low on the inside that this is a huge, cost for them just to buy tables and chairs. And, these are the smallest mom and pops in our city. And here we are having a whole other discussion that I think if they heard this, they'd say, we can't even do this. But I don't understand
why it's a negative for me to be honest about the impact on the gross revenues and therefore the margins, because this is the kind of space that you can actually make good margins on, because it's very beverage driven and it really drives your business model. I don't see them in conflict, that people in other areas have their own different issues, but you guys as representatives of the area should be concerned about the success of the businesses and the happiness of the residents, but the success of the businesses, so the city is vibrant.
100%.
And people want to come to New York City.
100%.
What the DOT is doing with the way they framed this section, and I'm sure it wasn't intentional, and the woman from the DOT said she believes that they're looking at some changes and that there's a lot of comments coming in, so hopefully changes will occur. But if you look at what this is going to do to this summer and the impact on the experience that people who travel into the city from, whether it be Long Island, New Jersey, Connecticut, or from distant places, it's going to impact the experience. And that is a negative for New York City as an overall thing. And if you don't think that that costs jobs, and if you don't think that that costs people's livings, you guys are ignoring
I
it.
said there needs to be a separate program where the revenue is shared appropriately.
But why is that? I don't agree with you, because this is how we actually can make money. It's gonna kill our profitability on F&B.
Part of this is that you signed an agreement to use public property.
Right, but the city benefits,
Sidewalk.
you're ignoring, I'm sorry, Carter, because you're ignoring the benefit that the city gets from all the people who travel to New York City and all the people who come into the
I
city.
completely understand. I understand the multiplier. I teach economics
Right.
at the university level.
Right.
I understand.
Yeah, so.
And I build models. And so I hear you and I understand there's trade-offs and there's a revocable consent, but it is public.
I'm not arguing that's public land, but the city should want the success of the businesses within the city. You know, there is pro-business and then there's things that are negative business. This program as designed, not by you guys, to be really clear, I'm not accusing you guys, is done poorly. It's just done in a.
And I'll say we fought, consistently for them to not take a one size fits all
Yeah.
look at this. We have multiple resolutions that have passed.
I appreciate
and
that.
multiple issues of this, on all sides of it, of this one size fits all doesn't necessarily work, and particularly in community board two, because we have so many variables within community board two. I mean, meatpacking is one thing and Bedford Street is another thing. And there are problems with all of it, but we have multiple resolutions that said that, and we.
No,
and
consistent with what the woman from the DOT said. She said she believes that there's commentary coming back from the community boards and that hopefully the DOT will be in a position to absorb that information, but it's going to take time.
well, you also need to let the city council and this new city council speaker know that holding a public hearing on outdoor dining the Monday of Thanksgiving there was nobody there testifying. I didn't see any I didn't see any operators there testifying. It's
I know.
I know. That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm saying. There's 5 bills that were proposed and they were laid over with the new start of the new year. And so there's, there likely will be another CAPA process, which is the rules, right? There's 2 pieces to this. So here, and like I said, that's why we passed a resolution trying to find more ways to promote.
No, I appreciate that.
And I know it's not, thank you.
So I'm sorry. So I'm just giving you all copies of what.
So where can we take this now? Because I feel as though.
We've expanded upon the problem.
Yeah.
But it is not change to that.
Yeah.
So basically, this is now what you're proposing that keeps that 12-foot radius, and you
But,
have this block of seating over here.
That's all I get. And then.
That's what you get.
Yeah, and I would appreciate that when
You're gonna cram.
once you guys kick us back, I guess, or you approve, however that works.
Remember, we're advisory here.
Okay.
So whether it's a denial here it would add another 30 days, but it's not a denial for the whole application. It's just it would get called up to a DOT public hearing.
No, but I have to come back either way.
For the liquor license.
The liquor
correct,
license
correct.
component, I need that before the thing, right? So I was told there's like a 30-day notice I have to provide and all that stuff. So over my head, but Donald.
They notice.
But this is already covered stipulations.
Yeah, this has stipulations for your, right. I mean,
already
you'll
been
have, well, he has to give us the note. You have to give us the notice.
Right.
You had the Sidewalk Cafe before. We already have stipulations on the hours of your
Right.
Sidewalk Cafe. I think it's 11 and 12. I didn't look it up before I came.
On my property, there are specific hours and the cafe had its own hours, right? So.
So what you're gonna do is just put in that 30-day notice.
Okay,
It has an addendum with it. You're gonna send in this
Okay.
plan and then just, where it says, like it has on that form, do you agree to close at 10 o'clock? You're gonna say no, you're gonna put stipulations to the hours that you previously had. And then we will waive your appearance and,
okay, cool. But I just want,
as long,
sorry.
and we'll change the number of seats. I mean, whatever you put down for your number of seats.
Yeah.
Especially this is within your property line.
Right.
So that's, if you can fit it in there and work within that, that's
Okay, no, I appreciate that. I was just saying,
Yeah, no,
I'll squeeze onto my property and we'll operate under the same circumstances we've always operated. So,
exactly.
okay, I really appreciate that.
The challenge too on these rules is that the city brought in proper planning standards, and that's why they're global corridors now. And that's so that pedestrians can move around. This was an industrial area where there were no trees. This has been created is a little later as opposed to most of the city, which is laid out in a particular fashion. The trees are there, the sidewalks are there. This is created, and as a part of that, the rules don't quite overlay as they would the rest of the city.
Right.
And that's for pedestrian movement where you don't have all this extra space. But that's the conflict of creating.
One size fits all, yeah.
Of creating new things, right? And putting, there's a lot of areas, most manufacturing areas did not have any trees.
Right.
It's like even in Soho, you
But
don't
we
see
have to
many
fight
trees,
to
they
get these
plant,
trees.
but that's what I'm saying. But as a result, other regulations come in.
No, but it's just weird also because where these trees are located is awkward based on the fact that they moved the street out
That's what I'm
like
saying.
20 feet, 30 feet.
That's the point that I'm making.
Yeah.
And so that you have, this is also, I think, covered in the was it like the pedestrian plazas or something? There's some other part where there's some rules, the way that they apply as well. And it becomes very complicated, but this is the spacing of the 12 feet is very well intentioned in a city where pedestrians can't move around. It's just its application in an area where you're creating new walkways.
Right.
Comes very differently because this is a little bit more of a newly manufactured space as opposed to the way the city exists.
Just supposed to help businesses, but now it's being held against you, so.
Right.
So that's the irony,
I'm
yeah.
just saying it's important that you guys have a lot more say with the city than we do on as a direct individual
I don't know
basis.
about that, but we'll try.
That someone brings it to their attention that one size fits all is not working, and that it's going to really damage businesses. And that's the only thing I can ask of you guys. You guys can't control the DOT, but you could try, so I appreciate any effort you guys can make. That's all.
Thanks.
Okay.
Well, and I'd like to say that if bringing it down to a local level, what Meatpacking District has done is, as Carter said, kind of created a problem for you. Trees weren't there before. Why'd they put them there? Then they moved the curb out, but they didn't pave it like a sidewalk. So people don't like walking on the cobblestone. I mean, there's things that may have sounded good when they initially proposed it,
Well,
but
never-
now they're
yeah.
interfering. You got planters everywhere, you got obstacles galore. If maybe you could work with the Meatpacking District, which is supposed to represent you, that these obstacles could be moved.
Yeah, they're not going to, I promise you one thing, they're not going to spend to rip out cobblestones at this point. That
No.
costs a lot of money. That costs a lot of money to do the cobblestones underneath those big planters that they have here. So they're not moving that stuff. So.
But just to be clear, the rules or the laws regarding outdoor dining are from city council, not from DOT.
Okay.
And DOT was also not who administered the previous sidewalk seating. It was a different agency, which is why there are many issues.
There's a bill to.
I'm not arguing. I can't follow the agencies. All I'm saying is that the DOT is being blamed for the 12-foot and the 8-foot and
They're not the ones who
came up
done
with the
that.
12-foot and 8-foot thing.
Well, that is part of proper city planning.
Okay.
That the city had guidelines and that calculation is done by the load.
Retail data and office
retail
data.
and everything. And so that's, been overlaid over the whole city. So because of the high pedestrian traffic in this area and the number of ground floor retail, they've determined that it's the corridor that it is. And that's how that came about. It wasn't DOT saying this street. It was taking all of the different data. Because one of the things that we found is actually how good of a job they did in that identifying in areas where there was no pedestrian walkway in many areas. And now there is, you can actually move much more freely. I mean, so it's come into play in different ways and
Maybe there needs to be a variance process. It can get rejected, but at least there's an opportunity to approach for a variance of some sort.
So just the pedestrian mobility plan, just so you know, if you go and Google it for the city, if you're interested. thing.
In my spare time.
Right, exactly, of course.
Yeah, do you want to run some regressions
That
with
was
data?
done, that was done separate, had nothing to do with this program.
Yeah.
So that was a separate thing that the city did to map all of this. And then when they did this program, they actually took the clear path that they recommended on there and made the 12-foot one, I think, is supposed to be 14 feet, and the 10-foot one is supposed to actually be 12 feet on the pedestrian mobility plan. When they applied it to this, they narrowed it, but that's how they came up with it in terms of the city planning. So it didn't have anything to do specifically with it. They adapted it for this program and shortened.
Well, maybe like I said, maybe they can create some sort of community board variance program so that when there's unique circumstances, at least you can,
Areas.
yeah, okay.
There should be a different program, not a variance to this. If for a lot of, because this is not, the variance, you just need a separate program that applies to a specific area. And I think that that's a better way of doing it. And also the way you get less pushback from a lot of people is they charge a higher price. Right now, the pricing is so low. And that's one of the things.
55% cheaper for you to do this than it was in pre-pandemic.
Program.
I did
And these are high, but this is, maybe there shouldn't be any cost in other areas, you know, where the rents are. But I'm just saying that this whole model of that part of it is a part of something that people look at as well. And that's how you align the interests, right? It's the city's interest also, but there's still some.
Doesn't city get, I'm not being political, doesn't city get part of the sales tax? It's only state. There are city taxes, you know, like doesn't the city have a million other taxes that they get? Like they get it on your real estate taxes because of the success of your business. So they are getting paid. Like, so all those things, while I agree with you that the city should get a rent, I also feel like if you looked at all the other cost lines that people who run businesses or own buildings are paying, they are paying their fair share in other ways. And it's not always a direct relationship to that, but it's on the profitability or the gross revenues that you're already achieving, and they're already hitting you on your real estate taxes, which does go to local. So I'm not arguing.
Who benefits, and this is what we hear, which is a factor that's out, because there are some people who benefit more than others, is your landlord. Because they're able to charge you a higher rent and you own the building, but in other cases, they're able to charge them higher rents because of the city's condition on the exterior. It is not part of the private property. And so what we've seen, and one of the biggest arguments that we've seen, is that a lot of rents have gone up as people had to re-sign their leases because there was so much available outdoor dining, when it's not, doesn't belong to the landlord. So that the increase is a very strange relationship, which is why just simply having a different approach to the fee structures on the exterior is much more of an equalizer. Because why is it, you know, you have a corner location that suddenly there's a significant more amount of seating that's there, the rent goes up significantly.
I know, but you could also just look at it simply as depends, because a lot of businesses have passed through real estate taxes. So if you were a restaurant, usually the way it works is you have a base year, and anything that you create of value that triggers a growth in the real estate taxes, you are already directly picking it up. Right. So there's truth to what you're saying, but there's also the way it really gets structured. It doesn't always work as simply as the landlord's the one benefiting. It's not usually. So it goes both ways on that.
I say it depends a lot.
Yeah.
It depends on the lease you cut, you know, so, and your leverage when you sign your lease. Anyway, thank you. I appreciate that you guys can support it when it goes.
Your SLA thing, right?
I kind of wait, or do I file right away?
File it.
Okay,
Put
great.
in the 30-day, you got the plan, put in the 30-day notice, and we'll, you know, for February, get it in now.
Thank you very much. I
Really
it.
appreciate you taking the time and.
Thank you all.
Thank you for the
Thanks.
drawing.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so with that, I'm going to close the public hearing on agenda item 5, Gansevoort LLC. And next, we're going to go to agenda item 4, which is Damselle LLC, DBA Lords, 506 LaGuardia Place for a Sidewalk Cafe. We do have the applicant here, and I'll ask them to come up in 1 second, but do we have anyone online that wishes to testify on this application? This is agenda item number 4. I don't see any hands raised, so please come up. Thank you. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Ed. I'm the chef and owner of Lords, and we have a couple of restaurants in the neighborhood too. And this application is for, you can almost see it actually. You probably
That's what I
can.
thought. Why
Outdoor.
do I think it has an E, but there's no E.
Because of this.
Okay, that's why.
Where is it? It's right down there.
It's right
Yeah,
there.
506.
That's right now.
We're in the middle of the block.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a few seats out there, or we would like a few seats out there, I guess. 6 tables. We put the initial application, so that thing that's on there that says it's a hatch it's actually not a hatch. It's being sealed over on the sidewalk and under, it used to be a service elevator generation ago. Right now, there's a vestibule on top of
Yeah, you
it.
put this in back in July of 2024. Wow,
But
July
then-
31st, yeah.
DOT sent it back to us, asking us to move it off the hatch, and that's fine. To be honest, we don't see a lot of people out there anyway, so
Okay.
it doesn't really
That's interesting.
matter to us. This is sort of the opposite example of what I was talking about.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you to move it because
Yeah.
you're not locking that?
Well, you're not
It
gonna lock
says
it.
it's a hatch,
Oh.
but it's not. It just looks like, like.
Oh,
some of
plus the
those-
Siamese anyways.
It might have been more the
Siamese
Siamese connection.
connection.
That's the fire
Yeah.
extinguisher thing.
Yeah,
It's gotta be 5 feet from that, right?
right.
Either way, like I'm not gonna fight it. It doesn't, we're lucky if we get 5, 6 tables out there anyway, so. We sell some pancakes, some burgers. It's a different kind of business. But yeah, I did the application for Crevette and Dame on the phone, but I wanted to come to this one in person because I was literally working right there. So
Oh, well, thanks.
it was, yeah, the other times I was out of town, so.
Okay.
But yeah, just to say hi to you guys and if you have any
Hi.
questions.
Mhm.
What kind of economics do you teach?
Micro, macro, game theory.
I have a degree from LSE.
There you go.
My dad's a professor of economics at
Oh.
Michigan,
Oh, wow, great.
but I got.
And Ross Business School,
No,
or
it's actually
liberal arts?
Kinesiology.
Oh,
So he's a
wow.
Sports economist.
Oh, fascinating.
Does-
Why is the clear path 15 feet?
Let me look.
I'm just.
That's like overly
is there
generous.
Something else that, you were making a straight line or what? Why?
Because it says the sidewalks.
Because what is it?
It's
Is
an
it,
8 feet. It's an 8 foot.
you only need 8 feet.
You only need
Yeah.
8 feet. So in the last example.
So we could have more?
So I'm looking at the plans that were from the previous operator at this location, and it looks like the
Sidewalk
and they
width.
had an 8 foot path because those were the old rules,
Yeah.
and it's 10 feet 6 inches. Is the
Was there
is
sidewalk?
your depth,
Okay. So ours went out 10 feet and then there was
right?
8 more.
Yeah. Yeah, you still could get, you could have 10 feet. This is the old plan.
So that's for a total of 18.
Yeah.
Although
Well, wait.
the sidewalk cafe is not allowed to be more than half of the
Right,
sidewalk
right.
width.
Right.
So the sidewalk
So it'd need to be 9?
You got
width
21
is
feet.
18 and a half.
We pay more the bigger the sidewalk cafe is,
Looking at
right?
the historic plan, it looks like
Oh.
the full sidewalk was 18 and a half.
So it need to be 9 feet?
And so in your measurement says 21 feet,
Yeah,
right?
maybe that's incorrect.
So it would be half, half of that, so it'd be 10 and a half feet, whatever it can be half.
Yeah, okay. Sweet. To be honest, we
So you
don't,
could have it at 9, so you could have a width of 9 feet and you just need a clear path of 8 feet.
8 feet, yeah, okay.
But it'd be a
Because it's
little
a-
more than 8 feet because it
Yeah.
can't be more
I
than,
don't think we would put that many tables out anyway.
so,
And that would help you
because the apartment entrance, right?
because of this apartment entrance here.
Yeah, we gotta be away from that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
you
needs
need to
to be
go
wide.
in and then, but you can go wider.
Okay.
Did they
Right.
tell you need to be away from that? We know you need to be away. From
Yeah,
that.
they did, and they just mentioned
Yeah.
so I guess looking at this, you're right, that the Siamese connection is not quite at the cellar door, it's a couple of feet over. I could go measure it, but that might be why they asked us to not seat on top of that
Probably.
thing, but they didn't mention.
Actually, I'm looking at the old plans, and that was also, there's a removal of a table and chair because of the Siamese. So that's probably the reason.
Yeah. Fine by me.
Yeah, so I think our only ask would just be to shift over from the apartment.
Squeeze it
An
in.
update, yeah, just update
And
the
then-
plan.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then however you want to expand the width, as long, and we can,
less than,
like, as long as it's.
More than
not
8 feet.
than
Mhm.
half of the sidewalk.
okay. Cool, yeah, that works. So we just stack them instead of
So
having.
yeah, you have 3 more feet on there.
It's another table.
I
Yeah.
mean, you do have an awning, right?
We do.
So this can be just a box to check.
Yeah,
That's all.
there's just the page after the site plan has a bunch of boxes and there's some for the awning. And then some for the primary building entrance. There's a box here as
Yeah, and
well.
you have the Siamese connection already on
Yeah.
there, so that's good. Okay, I mean, that's,
What's the door on the right side there, near that hatch and Siamese connection?
It's for the
Is that
outdoor.
one of yours?
Yeah, it's for the outdoor furniture.
Okay. Okay, so.
Yeah, it's like a little cupboard.
Yeah, and if as your diagram shows, you've got a double entry door, but you're only using one.
Yeah, we use the other one if ADA compliance, but
If your tables and chairs are perpendicular to the frontage, you can have quite a
Right.
more.
to be honest, the problem is we serve meat pies. People don't want to eat them in the summer. So it's not very busy. In the summer. My wife's like, we shouldn't even do this. Just do this. There's AC. In the winter, it would be great, but
Nobody
Oh,
wants-
no, it's different kind of business in the summer.
wow.
You don't have a different menu item?
No, we do, but people's perception of the restaurant is, it's fluid, but it's not that fluid. It's considered like a heavy, it's not quite a steakhouse, but like that kind of.
That's great.
Yeah, you guys are hungry.
Now it'll be super top of mind. Okay, anything else?
No.
Any questions for us?
So I would like redraw this
Yeah.
and email it back to you.
Back to Florence, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
No problem.
DOT.
yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
And then the liquor license thing, then 30 days.
Yeah, just there's a 30-day notice for municipal expansion.
Okay.
And so submit that notice and we'll get you on the calendar. Did you have a Sidewalk Cafe before? I didn't.
no, not at that location.
We did last year.
Oh, last year.
We had like
Yeah,
under the
no,
old
yeah, no. So
COVID,
just submit the 30-day notice and then we'll
Okay.
take it
and I submit that to you?
to
Of
the
pharmacy?
office.
Okay,
To the
great.
office. If you go on the liquor licensing website, there's a municipal, or go on our community board,
Sure.
that lists the different forms on there.
Okay,
And so you just submit that notice and then we'll get you on.
excellent.
Calendar.
And that would be it, the charge.
It's at the
Not
hospital right
the
now.
hospital.
Yeah, so not as close.
Ah,
I know,
that's all right.
it's up because they're renovating, so.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
All right, thank you guys.
great, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to close the public hearing on agenda item number 4, Damselle LLC DBA Lords. And next, we're going to go to, thank you,
Thank you guys.
Ed, nice
Have
to
a good
meet you. Next, we're going to go to agenda item number 6, which is 142 Mercer Street LLC DBA Lure Fish Bar, 142 Mercer Street for a roadway cafe. And application does not state FDNY review pending, but DOT confirmed via email that it has been referred to FDNY. And we have the applicant here, but before we get to that, is there anyone here who wishes to testify on this application online from the public? And then we will go to the applicant. So I see one hand raised.
Getting her up there.
Okay. Oh, 2 hands raised. Hi, how are you?
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New Year. So we'll just get these 2 testifying. So we have Laura Tenenbaum and somebody else.
Will be joining us.
Okay, so Pete, you said? Okay,
Pete
so we'll,
Moore.
okay, so Laura, go ahead. Oh, can you unmute?
Unmute.
I was trying to be so careful, I forgot to unmute.
Hi.
I'm gonna look at this. We really have a feeling in this community in Soho about what it's like to pass by a lure fish bar, roadway, eatery, because we experienced it throughout COVID. And we found it problematic, or a lot of people did. I've spoken to people about it because of the conditions there. The sidewalk is extremely narrow, and there's a lot of people who walk along it. This, I know, is not in the sidewalk, but the fact of the matter is it feels so enclosed. It's extremely creepy at night to be walking by there when the restaurant is closed. And I, for one, never felt safe once the shed was erected. The current design, to me, doesn't look any different. I'd like to get a better idea of where it ends, because I really can't tell from their illustration. I want to point out one thing which is really important to me, which is that if you look at the Google Maps and go back in time at the photographs, you will see that in 2019, before the shed had been put up, there was a no standing anytime sign right there, just north of the Prada entrance and pointing to the corner of Prince Street. That disappeared at the time the shed went up. And so that's an issue. The place was also unpleasant during the day. A function, again, is a narrow sidewalk, which is truncated by the steps that go down to the entrance of Lore, and also the steps that go up to Prada. They say in their application that they don't go in front of Prada, but I don't see how that's possible. So I found it a little bit confusing. We know that the activity of the servers and their busing and their customers on Mercer Street made the sidewalk part of the operation, made the sidewalk part of its operations, causing conflicts with the public. And I'm concerned that that's going to be happening, especially as people go up and down from the Prada steps too. There's a lot of areas for conflict on this very narrow sidewalk. The street, of course, is only 26 feet wide. And I think I think it's an anniversary of a fire from 20 years ago where like 250 people had to flee Lore as the building was burning out. I don't know what would happen now if we had this obstruction in the way and another fire happened in these very flammable buildings that we have. I'm sorry, I had really expected to listen to the application first, but I just want to point out that due to the encroachments on the streets of the steps, it's only something like 8 to 10 feet that we pedestrians have. And it's like walking through a narrow corridor. It's so unpleasant. It's unpleasant for the residents. It's unpleasant for the tourists. And with Mercer Hotel across the street and what they were permitted, we don't have, and with cat a corner to another restaurant that got an excess of sidewalk space, we're really in trouble. Those of us who just like to walk and stroll around our neighborhood. There's just no line of sight. And I want to go back to the safety issue. Because the way this looks to be designed, it's enclosed on 3 sides. And with long walls up on all 3 sides, which means there's no line of sight for people who are on the sidewalk passing by it. People can't see me if I'm being attacked when they're closed. And I can't enjoy the sight of the Mercer Hotel or anything across the street, or wave to Pete Davies if he's across the street, because I can't see him, you know? And this is an issue with this type of structure that they're proposing to put in that place, and also the placement of it. And I'm sorry, I seem to be a little bit all over the place on this, but if anybody.
That's okay. Well, you know, you will hear from the applicant, and if you have some additional comments, just raise your hand and we'll.
Yeah. That's about it. Thank you.
Carter?
You know, Laura, I'm glad you'd raised the issue of the parking signs. Some residents in a residential building to the north of here had made a request at one point to have a no standing zone in front of their building, or loading, unloading.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we did an inventory of the street signs on the block. And that's where I think this issue first came up, with the missing sign. So the missing sign is still listed on the DOT, NYC DOT which is the New York City Parking Department's list of all.
And it's a no
parking signs.
Standing anytime
And
sign
it's,
that's missing?
the sign is supposed to be 397 feet from the intersection of Hudson and Prince. And it's pointing to the north. It says no parking Monday to Friday, 8 AM to 6 PM. And pointing to the south is no standing anytime.
You want me to share the screen in front?
Sure, yeah.
You're talking about,
Like at the 397, pointing to the south, standing north. Just like.
okay.
So are you saying that the 397 feet will encroach on this particular application?
Yeah. Well, you put the picture of that,
So this
sort of the
is
sign
what it.
that
used to
Laura's,
be,
yeah.
Like, which is right where the cafe would start.
That's weird that.
So you're saying that if the no any standing anytime sign was there, then there wouldn't, a roadway cafe wouldn't be allowed there. So where did the sign go or why was it removed?
And throughout the area, these no standing signs, I believe, are for fire safety. And it's for the fire trucks in order to be able to turn and navigate through those areas, so.
Okay, and
We still need to hear from
is
you
there
too.
anything on this site that says that the sign is missing and they're gonna replace it, or what's, you say the sign isn't there now?
This is where this is lists where all the
They think
parking
it is.
signs in New York
Yeah.
City are located.
Or should be located? I mean, we're seeing that sign.
So what
on
happens
this
if they
street.
replace the
Right,
sign
it's
and
not
then
there.
this cafe is there?
Mhm.
This
Right,
roadway
that's-
cafe
that's
is
the-
there?
That's the point.
Okay.
Mhm. Well,
Okay, so let's go to Pete. I don't wanna, is there anything else on this with Laura that we need to discuss? And we'll go to Pete and then we'll go to the applicant. Okay, Pete?
Okay, thank you. I think, seems just about everything's been covered. One thing I do want to bring up is the service station that was on the sidewalk at the top of the stairs, right near Prince Street, which, because this is a unique situation where the restaurant operation is actually subterranean, that station became the nexus for connecting between the restaurant and the outdoors, which is different from many of the other operations where, you know, the outdoors is kind of an extension of the interior. That service station, which had payment, it had, silverware, various things to serve within the roadway cafe. That created a bottleneck at the corner. I know they are not going to have sidewalk seating, so that diminishes that bottleneck to some degree, but just wanted to point that out.
Okay.
Pretty much everything I have to say in addition to what Laura said already. So, thank you all.
Thank you.
thanks, Pete. May I ask?
Yeah,
may
sorry.
I ask,
Hold on, Laura.
In the upper left-hand photo of the application, it looks like there's a stand with an umbrella on it. Can you see that? And is that what you're referring to?
Yes, that is precisely what I'm referring to.
Okay. And then, just for our clarification, this is a photograph of previous seasons. Obviously, it's not up right now. Then this is the old rules, then the new rules would have a very different appearance to that seating area. Is that not true?
Is that to me?
Yeah, the back has to be transparent, so.
Well, it's really to the committee as far as we're looking at the photographs, but we're not being told that this will be replicated just the way it was previous years. We have kind of what the diagram that's accompanying these photographs is a much more simple layout of tables and chairs. And if everything is following the guidelines of the rules, you wouldn't see the enclosure that was there in previous years.
If I could just speak to that.
Yeah.
Sure.
One thing we are seeing a lot in the neighborhood is operators come to you. They make a presentation that is in line with the rules. And you guys opine on that. But until everybody had to clear away their stuff, at the end of October or November, whenever that was, many operators went back and didn't follow what they'd presented. So it's really important that when operators come to you guys, that they affirm, once again, that they are going to operate within the rules and not just set up as they see fit and screw the rules. So, yes, everything that's shown in this application is the prior setup. And
Well, that's a good point, Pete. And yes, we do have the language in the stipulations that always says that you must abide by the rules. And they affirm it with their signature.
great.
It's an ongoing problem. Unfortunately, we don't enforce that, but 311 is, and in some cases, the SLA division would be places to lodge that complaint of noncompliance. But okay, we understand those complications.
Okay. All right. So thank you, Pete and Laura. So let's go to the applicant. Please introduce yourself. And if you could direct your comments of anything here to us.
I'm Devon Barry Wise. I'm the Director of Operations for Mercer Street Hospitality.
Thank you. All right. So can you tell us about the no standing sign or how it went away or what's happening?
First of all, I said Happy New Year to the committee. Thank you for having me. I also want to say happy holidays and Happy New Year to Ms. Tannenbaum and Mr. Davies. Just to speak into a few issues, and I'll go through a few of them maybe before you can bring them up to me.
Okay.
The no standing sign, and just to give a little history on me, I've worked on Mercer Street for the last 30 some odd years. I remember when Humaran was there, when Match was there. I worked at Match downtown back in the early 90s, Castle of Femme and several other restaurants in Soho. So I've watched how Soho has changed a lot in the last 30 years, and more specifically, how it's changed a lot in the last 5 years. When unfortunately COVID hit the city and we were running around trying to figure out how to keep the city not only healthy, but economically healthy, there were a lot of rules that weren't played by, and there were a lot of rules that were not understood. And in some cases, there were no rules at all. So I understand the concerns that not only the residents, but tourism visitors and other New Yorkers will have. So first, the no standing sign. Laura Fish Bar, North Mercer Street Hospitality took away that sign. I remember that sign. But with that being said, with us theoretically on the approaching side of the street, we have moved, or will be moving our structure 20 feet off the crosswalk. So any emergency vehicle that needs to make a right turn onto a southbound street should theoretically have that clearance and that access. I don't believe there's any other obstruction on the west side of the street. So therefore, as I said, we will be moving 20 feet off the crosswalk. I don't know how much more clearance in that 397 feet zone would have been, what we're giving. But I think that is compliant with the approach inside of the street sidewalk rule that we're 20 feet off that crosswalk.
That's for visibility, not for.
But there really is that visibility is for a vehicle to make that right turn onto or northbound turn.
It's visibility not to make turns, it's visibility for crossing pedestrians. And the reason that they adopted that rule is because that is, except in New York City, there is a requirement for the rest of the state that there is a, forgetting what's it called? Daylighting in the rest of the state, and New York City is exempted from that. So the 20 feet does not come from any requirements for turning. It is, the requirement is blocking the sight lines for pedestrians, and that's why that's there.
Thank you for giving us clarity for that. With that being said, I still would imagine that there's enough space there for any approaching vehicle to make that northbound turn on the southbound street.
I mean, I just, the reason we bring it up is that this sign, I mean, just going back for many years, it's removed. Somebody took it away, or whatever it is. But the measurements from that, the way it's mounted into the sidewalk, was somebody specifically measured it.
That's no argument there.
Yeah.
And that's irrelevant right now for us. If that sign is put back up, then theoretically we have to cross that bridge when we get to it.
The sign's supposed to be there.
I'm not saying it's not. What I'm saying is that currently the sign is not there. So if it is a no standing zone, then theoretically DOT or the city of New York needs to replace that sign. That's not the purview of us. So
Right.
theoretically, if you.
This also goes that there shouldn't be anything there.
I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that either, but as it stands, that sign is not there. So theoretically, it is a.
How did the sign disappear, do you know?
That I don't know. And I would, I can say safely that Laura Fishbar, no MSH would have removed that sign. So again, that is a city issue, and theoretically, as my grandmother would say, if that sign goes back up, then, Mercer Street will have to cross that bridge when we get there. And if there's an objection to that structure being there, once that sign is put back up, then again.
It's not an objection, it's not permitted. It's not permitted in a no standing.
I understand
zone,
that.
So that wouldn't be an objection, that would be like.
Semantically speaking, the objection would be for us to say, hey, that sign wasn't there, we put the structure up, and then we'll, whatever remedy there is.
Yeah, and the rules already say that if something happens like that, because that is written in there, if something changes, then the setup has to change.
Exactly. That's why I say again.
We get requests from operators that do have these no standing signs to have them removed, and we just have not, we're not hearing those. Right. I'm just saying, I'm just saying in general, yeah, it's not up to us, but they want to come to us, or DOT says they need to come to us to do that. And we have kind of put a moratorium on that because, and the agency is against kind of hearing these one-off because it's not the way planning is done.
I'm not disagreeing with
you, but just saying in general.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with any of that. What I'm simply saying is that for the last however long, that sign is not there. As far as I understand, if I was to go park my car there and they want to give me a ticket, I would take a picture of there being no standing sign there, and the judge would throw that ticket out. So again, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. If you guys want to.
But that's a parking ticket.
Again,
we just showed you.
I'm not disagreeing with the sign being there. What I'm saying is that if that sign goes back up and you guys say to Laura Fishbar, hey, you guys can't.
It's not us saying it, would be DOT.
If DOT comes and say, hey, you guys can't have that sign, this shed here, then we'll do what we need to do to move that shed or become compliant. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Is there anything else?
I mean, it was there in June 2019. I'm just gonna say the sign was there in June 2019.
I'm not disagreeing. All I'm saying is that, okay, I've made that point.
So we're in agreement, we should just ask the city to put the sign back up.
Agree.
Okay.
Again, speaking to Mrs. Tannenbaum's safety about the structure that was there, yes, there was a, how do you describe, a shipping container that, yes, if you're walking past it, especially late at night when there are no other people on that street, that can be a very daunting challenge, but no different than the challenges of doorways and stairwells and other obstructions. that can blind us and hide people who are willing to do us harm. Lord took the pains to make sure that at night we kept that structure lit. There were portholes on all three sides of that so that theoretically one could peer in. At some point, there were people sleeping. So we made sure that chairs and tables and benches were either obstructed or chained up so that one could not sleep there. But again, I understand, but speaking to that, that structure is not being repeated. There's a very different structure that's going up there now. Not much different than what you would see at the Dutch or Balthazar. It is three sides, but those three sides are open, so three sides. The height of each barrier, I believe, is whatever is DOT compliant, so that one walking down the street could peer into that structure. The only thing they would not be able to see is the ground of that structure, which would, again, be no different than someone hiding in a stairwell or a doorway.
Is the roof gone?
We're not having any plans for a roof. Plan to do chairs and umbrellas.
Okay. And then the other thing is, are you within 50 feet of then a stop sign or anything there?
I don't believe there's a stop sign there, but there's a stoplight at the corner of Prince and Mercer. And again, because of the 20-foot approach and sidewalk, we are well before that light.
Do the umbrellas overlap onto the street?
So the structure is only 6.5 feet wide by 20 foot long. So the umbrellas would not overlap onto the street. They will only be as wide.
Under
if not
under the sidewalk or the street.
We intend to have those umbrellas just within that 6.5 foot structure. We do not intend to impede the sidewalk. The only thing that I believe would be on that sidewalk is a handicap or ADA compliant ramp.
Okay, any other questions? Or comments?
Well, just speaking to two more points Mr. Davies brought up, and I felt very claustrophobic too when I worked that podium on the corner of Prince and Mercer with that big umbrella in the service station. That was not only a challenge for tourists and neighbors and residents, but it was a challenge for us. So we will not have a service station out there this year. We will not have a point of payment there. There will be handhelds used. If guests are looking for seating, they will have to enter downstairs to the restaurant to be seated by the host. I think there was one more. 8 feet of sidewalk or guests coming down from Prada. Prada's main interest is on Broadway. So the majority of foot traffic there is neither going to Lure or going to Prada, or coming out of Lure or coming out of Prada. The majority of foot traffic there is simply pedestrian traffic going north or south on Mercer Street and not walking in or out of either Prada or Lure Fish Bar. I saw a note of that, were we even eligible because we're a downstairs structure. As long as we, as I understand it, as long as we have frontage on Mercer Street, we have the eligibility to have a cafe, whether on the sidewalk, on a roadway, in front of, on that frontage.
Yeah, we agree with that.
Wait. Yeah. I just wanted to speak to, I thought.
I saw that note, that it's not a,
So
no problem.
that picture,
Mhm.
put that,
The 2019?
no, it's, 2011.
Yeah.
So I had a question because I think that, for the see where the street sign is here, which is where it was, I mean, that's from 2011. What, the space that's all green to the left of the window, is that part of the restaurant?
So that is that is the service interest to the restaurant and the service interest to, I think it's 595 Broadway, which is the entire building in which Prada, Laura, and other buildings.
But that's your restaurant is behind that space. Is that,
That is a service interest to both there is no actual restaurant behind that space. That is a service interest, a ramp to an elevator. The services Lure, Prada, and the entire 595.
so the, yes, the reason I was,
exclusive to them.
so the reason I was asking is that if this sign actually is there, we can't even make a recommendation because you couldn't have anything. But if that was your space, there would still be an area for a small space. So that's why I was
Wait, no, I guess,
asking the question, because it wasn't clear to me, just,
Mhm.
because the rules do say that you can have it if your space is behind it, even if it's not quite there, there's a little wiggle room,
Of course.
interpretation, which they're not able to clearly articulate. But I was just asking that.
Yeah.
Of course. Understood.
Okay.
And so in the past, the structure went to here,
In the past,
right?
theoretically, that structure went all the way down the block. With that, like I said,
Okay,
we're not talking about, I don't think anything that's happening before 2026 rules is even relevant.
yeah.
So,
Is it here that you're proposing that it ends? It's just hard to tell.
well,
Or,
I don't know exactly where, right off the top of my head, but everything south 20, the entire structure is 20 feet long by 6.5 feet wide, 20 feet off that crosswalk, which is that, it's not the cobblestone, whatever is just south of or north of that cobblestone, 20 feet from there and back.
and if it happens to be less than 20, like if, in order to have 20 feet from the crosswalk and you're only left with 10 feet in front of your storefront?
Theoretically, I would have a 10-foot cafe. Or no, whatever is viable and makes sense for the business. It may make sense not to have a cafe at all if I only have 5 feet. But theoretically, yes, we would shrink the footprint.
And the diagram that's there is accurate just by counting. You can see each of the squares when you look down on it. It is lines up to the end of the window.
Okay,
Just
okay, let me switch out of this and share the. screen again.
And the reason the sign is important, and I've said this before on other several applications, this is what the fire department calls Hell's 100 Acres.
Mhm.
And that's because the fires
Of
in
course.
loft buildings are all wood buildings. And this is also a taller area. And so that's why you have like ladder 20, which are steered from the front and the back
Of
to
course.
make turns, but they need the swing space to make the turns. And that's why all the radiuses are very important, and that's generally where you see no standing zone all through the West Village and Soho. The reason they have those is so that the turning radiuses for the equipment,
Understood.
it can make it through there, so.
Okay. Anything else? Okay, any other comments or questions for us?
No. And again, I just want to confirm the approaching side, as you explained to me, has nothing to do with vehicular traffic. That's visibility for pedestrians, correct? Gotcha.
Called daylighting, and there's actually, I think, some potentially pending. Have that apply across the city.
Yeah.
What is that rule called again? Daylight?
It's
Daylighting.
called daylighting.
Daylighting.
One word, yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay. All right,
I'm good?
yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
taking the time.
Thank you, everybody. Be easy.
Thank you.
I'll see you at Laura.
It's been a while for me. Have
Hey, well,
a
I'll
good
give you my
one.
card.
Nice to see you. All right. So next,
everybody.
good night. So
Good
we
night.
have, do we have Dave Ramirez online? I'm gonna go to who's
Which number is this?
Bring him up.
Dave, and we're gonna, because now we're gonna go back in order, so, the ones that we know are gonna be here online, we're gonna go to agenda items, so I'm closing the public hearing on agenda item 6, and we're gonna go to agenda item number 2, Pineiro Rest Inc., DBA Jeans Restaurant at 73 West 11th Street for a sidewalk cafe, and we should have Dave Ramirez or David Ramirez, who's the owner, on Zoom.
Yes, hello.
Hi,
Hi.
thanks. I appreciate your patience. Hi, thanks. Number two.
Number two.
Hi, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm David Ramirez. My brother and I own the Jean's Restaurant. My family has owned Jean's since 1979. I think a lot of you have been there. So, and we're applying for the Sidewalk Cafe. I applied, I think, a couple of years ago, and I was surprised that I received the email about the community board meeting. So if I can answer any of your questions.
A couple of years ago.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, it shows that you
Yeah.
applied back in July.
22nd. Wow.
July of 2024. That's so wild. Well, thanks for being here. Okay, all right, I see. Let me see.
I can't hear anything. There we go.
Great. I'm just writing down some notes. Does anybody have questions they want to ask the applicant? Does anybody want to start? Yeah.
Let me share my screen. I have a question. Is this like a grate? It's kind of hard to tell on either side of the hash here.
Yes, that's our heater is in the cellar of the building. Well, the heater for the entire building, and that's air that allows air to come into the cellar. For the heater was installed many years ago. I mean, before us. It's always been there since before 1979.
Okay.
And those doors are used to take things in and out of the cellar.
Have that checked out for reinforcing the cellar door?
Their version of the application doesn't have a box for it.
That door is solid, and so are those grates. It's not going anywhere.
All right, so we also asked that there be a dimension on this plan to show the distance from the residential or building entrance and the nearest seating or the barrier around the seating.
Right. To let you know, I don't know if that's my plan. I guess it is. It is my plan. I actually drew the plan. To let you know, I'm also the architect for this plan and for those doors. And the distance, I can measure the distance for you and resubmit it if you'd like. I would say it's about 1.5 feet from the door. The door, it's a thick door. It's a thick wall, where, like, the door is set in about 12 inches.
Yeah.
Right, so DOT requires that for any primary building entrance, there needs to be 5 feet between the edge of the door and the edge of the cafe perimeter. So this line, the perimeter, we need to come in, and there needs to be a dimension between the perimeter and the door over here.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't know for sure if it would affect this table. But it might.
I was wondering if I could put like 5 tables there. So there is room to move the tables over. towards, in front of the window. I'll make that change and I could resubmit.
Okay, and then there's just a corresponding box on the next page, box S22. And that's where it says the minimum 5 feet clearance.
Okay.
Just checking that, yeah. Okay.
That was it for me.
Okay. Any other questions from the committee?
No.
Was there anyone here to testify on this application? I might not have asked that directly.
I see no hand.
Okay.
Okay.
Anything else from the committee? David, is there anything else we can answer for you? Or any other comments you want to make?
I'm unfamiliar with the process. This was my first time addressing the application since I submitted.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's I heard the other applicants, something about a 30-day resubmittal or.
That's regarding you want to speak to
That's,
that?
yeah, so for your liquor license, you need to file a municipal expansion.
So I filed that with the state.
So you file that, yes. And the forms for that are on Community Board 2's website. Some of the Liquor Authority has it on their website, the 30-day notice.
Okay.
And then we have forms on our website to go along with that once we receive that.
Okay.
It's, hang on one second.
And so basically, up until this is approved, they allow you to continue to operate as part of your license premise, but once then you're approved for the new license, you need to alter the liquor license
Okay.
permanently to go with the new program.
Thank you. Yeah.
So if you go on CB2's website and you look under committee material, there's committees and then it says committee materials. And if you scroll down in that, there should be liquor license SLA committee. And the office can help you. And then there's the different forms are in there for the municipal expansion. Okay?
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I'm going to close the public hearing on this application. Thank you so much for taking the time to be with us this evening.
Thank you. I appreciate everything you guys do. Take care.
Bye. Okay, so that's number 2. So let's go to so let's go to Flippers. And we're gonna go to agenda item number 3, Flippers NYC LLC, DBA Flippers at 337 West Broadway for a sidewalk cafe. We have Yvonne here for that application. And then next we'll go to, after that, we're gonna go to agenda item number 7, which is TEC Hudson LLC, DBA Toby's Estate Coffee. And we have Lisa as the applicant on that one for a sidewalk cafe. So let's go to number 3. So Yvonne. And do we have anyone from the public who wishes to testify?
Hello?
Hi. Do we have anyone from the public besides the applicant? Hi, Yvonne. Thanks for your patience.
Hi.
1 second. Do we have anyone here to testify besides?
Yes, you have Pete and you have Darlene.
Okay. So Yvonne, we'll have you introduce yourself in just a minute. We're going to hear from the public on your application and then we'll go to you and you can address the comments directly to us. And so just thank you. All right. So let's go to Pete and then Darlene.
Hi, yeah, Pete Davies. I'm looking at the site plan and I'm just confused and hope we can get clarification about the distance because it shows diagonally 8 feet from the street pole, the lamp post, to the edge of the setup. But then it shows 10 feet straight across, which apparently is from the edge of the setup to the curb. And that geometry just doesn't make sense. Because the diagonal would have to be longer than the straight line to the curb. And it's showing it as shorter. So anyway, just hoping to get clarification about that.
Okay.
Well, nobody said it was to scale, right?
Should we have the applicant address this before we go to Darlene, or? Does that make sense? Yvonne, do you want to respond to that?
Oh, yeah, hi. I'm
And-
Yvonne. I'm the
Hi.
general manager from Flippers.
Hi.
As we submitting the application is for adding 2 outdoor furniture to our front space. So basically, these 2 outdoor furniture gonna be like removable. And it's like either smaller than 32 by 32 inches. So when it's necessary, it's 2 top, and when it's necessary, it's gonna be combined to 4 top. So we're gonna keep those outdoor dining furniture as close to our windows. So we'll be definitely making more than 8 feet from the traffic lights because it's a narrow table. So definitely just keep a little space in front of dining, in front of front side. So if you can see from the application, the pictures shows up our front door space.
Anything else?
I just we have Darlene.
Okay, Darlene.
Good evening, Darlene Lutz. Happy New Year to the panel. Nice to see everybody. This is on the cross of West Broadway and Grand Street. So very active corner, as we all know. We have Pasta Bar, caddy corner from this. We have Felix across the street. It is just a very, very active with an outdoor scene. In the past, and I know we're not supposed to talk about the past, but I'm going to. This Flippers and delicious pancakes, by the way. I mean, for some of us, they're just, out of this world and out of the price range. But that aside, this is a very popular venue, and you have been closed for a couple of months now, right?
Yeah.
For renovation.
We closed since middle of October.
Right. Whoa, I'm losing track of time. That's what happens when you have high fevers. You're immensely popular on the weekends. I've counted, I've got so much footage on, how you've operated before. I don't know when this cafe, the Sidewalk Cafe license was submitted. But pretty much been running wild until tonight, coming with these 2 modest tables here on this space in this plan, as opposed to, just, a packed, impassable with, 20 people, for hours, all weekend long. Yeah, I'd like to voice my concern.
Yeah, I can answer that. Yeah.
On that. If you just give me a minute and wait for the chair to give you permission to speak, because I'm not done yet. Yes, we, residents, we are not asking for happiness. We are asking for our quality of life in our neighborhoods. That's a word that I heard uttered by another business owner about the residents' happiness. And it's about our quality of life and respecting that we want to be able to use our public space where we live without, with respect. I haven't seen a business out there that respects the neighborhood that they're in. And it's only deteriorating. So hear me roar. Thank you. And I don't apologize for anything.
Okay. Thanks, Darlene. Appreciate you taking the time and hope you feel better soon. Okay, so Yvonne, did you want to respond to us regarding?
Yeah, I would say since we submit the application, like we're gonna put out 2 chairs, we're gonna just stay with that 2 chairs because before it was post the pandemic that we were allowed to even have a like a build up wooden house outside, but it was already gone. And since we have these strict guidelines to do the outdoor seating, we're definitely gonna just keep 2 removable outdoor furniture out there, and we are not going to build anything because we have our own owning already. And towards to the traffic lights, I would say this year is bad, and we already lost a lot of traffic. The business is very difficult right now. And meanwhile, we are doing the renovation. We are planning adding more table seating, like combine more seatings inside the dining room. So we'll be outside too. Furniture is for actual option for people want to see outside to enjoy the Soho vibe.
Okay. Does the committee have any questions or comments? No? Okay.
I mean, my only comment is not, maybe just will like speak to Pete's point a little bit earlier about the street light. I can share my screen again just to show where the street light really is. So in the diagram, actually, let me see if I can put these on the same page. Okay. So the diagram shows that the street light is like off, like the edge of it lines up with the edge of the building. But really the street light is in front of the entrance door. So really it's like right here, which may explain 8 feet, but also I would ask that that be verified.
Yeah.
And then you were saying that you were sometimes going to push these tables together?
Yeah. So basically the table just as close as to the windows.
Yeah, I understand. Oh wait, you're saying, yeah, push it towards the window. Yeah. But that was my only comment just about the street light.
Okay.
Recording in progress.
Okay, sorry guys, sorry.
Okay. All right, so I think that's it. So thank you so much, Yvonne. Is there another hand raised for some reason or?
No, that's Darlene.
Okay, great. Okay, thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to close the public hearing on flippers, and then we're going to go to agenda item number 7, TEC Hudson LLC, DBA Toby's Estate Coffee at 550 Hudson Street for a sidewalk cafe. And we have Lisa Dolomore is here.
Oh, hang on.
She should have her hand raised.
Yeah, she does.
And then, hi. And then just 1 second, do we have anyone here from the public besides the applicants to testify on this application? Please raise your hand. I'm not seeing any, so let's go to the applicant. So please introduce yourselves. Hello.
Hi, how you doing? This is Matt, and this is...
Hi, I'm Lisa. Nice to meet you.
Okay, and what's your role?
I'm the operations manager for Toby's Estate.
Okay.
And I'm one of the business owners.
Okay. Great. Okay. Does anyone want to start? Just give us 1 second.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah.
Donna, is this your know about the 6 feet enlarging?
Let's see. That one, or was it? No, that's not me.
Oh.
I don't think. Oh, maybe it is me, yeah. Because it didn't look, because they have the room to, hang on 1 second, let me get it open. And it looked like, yeah, I mean, it looks like they have plenty of clearance there on it, unless I'm missing something.
It's just the street light and the hydrant that are the only obstacles,
And,
but there's 13 feet there.
right, so it still looked like there was plenty of room, and I just don't know.
So it looks like you have a 12-foot from a manhole, but you're not required to have a 12-foot
Right.
from a manhole. It looks like your sidewalk cafe could
Be hard.
Be bigger?
be deeper. Meaning that the 12 feet is from the curb edge.
And actually, they only need 10.
Yeah, it's the
They only need
Yeah.
10 feet.
So you only need 10 feet. So the diagram is significantly smaller than what.
Yeah, I mean, we have a fairly wide sidewalk, so we are leaving about 14 feet from the end of our sidewalk cafe to the curb.
I think you're only required to leave 10.
To 10, right?
Well, it's, rephrase that. It's 10 feet from the fire hydrant or the street light, whichever is further in. If you wanted to maintain a straight line. But so it'd be 10 feet everywhere else, except it'd have to be 10 feet from the fire hydrant, 10 feet from the street light, and then 10 feet from the curb line. So you could add in quite a, looks like 2 feet along the whole length.
Yeah, if we did want to extend, would we have to submit an updated drawing to show the?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but that's another table and 2 chairs.
Yeah.
2 feet.
Yeah, I don't think it's really necessary, just the size of our tables and the setup.
Okay. And so then my only thing was it just looked very tight for how people are, and it might just be the drawing, how people are going to access the tables and chairs, like to be able to get in there and to serve the people on the southernmost, let's say, table.
Yeah, so we're not full service, it's a order at the counter cafe.
Get out.
There's no staff going in and out or having to access.
Okay. So they still need to, whatever goes on in that sidewalk cafe has to happen within the sidewalk cafe. You'll put a perimeter around it and has to go within there. So as long as that works, then that's up to you.
Yeah.
But you have the room to make it a little bit bigger, even just for people to walk around in it, if you wanted to.
The process of submitting a revised diagram is not that.
Like starting from scratch.
Yeah, it's not like.
It doesn't put you back. Yeah,
scratch.
just updating it.
It's just updating it, but it would give you a lot more breathing room, around your tables and chairs, and you'd be compliant to the setup. So once the plans are put in, you have to follow them and they're available, online, et cetera. But it's better to just put in the most space that you can have, and then, there's plenty of room for your customers to see themselves, move around, whatever it may be.
Understood. Yeah, we appreciate that. If we were to edit the drawing, do we have to come back for another community board meeting?
No.
No.
No, you just send it into the office and then the DOT. That's it.
Okay.
You just move forward.
This is a most unusual application because normally we're fighting to fit within the rules. You are choosing to not show what you're allowed to have for seating.
You have the potential for more.
Now, so I would like to ask the committee a clarification, and that is, if they revise this drawing to us and they submit to the full extent that they're allowed under the rules, couldn't they set up a smaller roadside sidewalk seating area and not have to be worrying about resubmitting or anything? Because it's still within the rules.
That's not the point, is that, the point that I made is that they have to comply with whatever's submitted, so why wouldn't you? But it's actually, I was wrong, it looks like you've got 3 feet 9 inches.
Yeah. I mean, they've got a lot of room.
It's not 2 feet, it's 3 feet 9 inches, so it's a pretty big.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, the thought would be just to have a little bit more access space. So we probably revise and just bump out the barrier, maybe another like 2 feet.
Yep.
So we'll still have plenty of room. We're fortunate that we have a 20-foot sidewalk and we're not on one of those tight sidewalks down in Soho.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments from the committee or questions for the applicant? Do you have any questions or other comments for us?
So, again,
Question is, so it'll be approved from the community board tonight, and we'll just update the drawing. Will be our next step.
Once it's submitted to us, it would be an approval with modifications,
Okay.
most likely. Brian, did you have something else?
Well, I'll leave this in for our business session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna close the public hearing on agenda item number 7. And next, we're gonna go to agenda item number 1, which is Rajmar Holdings Inc., DBA Hudson Bar and Books at 636 Hudson Street for a sidewalk cafe. Is there anyone here to testify on this application, or is there an applicant here?
David Wilder.
Okay. Did we promote him or?
Yeah.
what's up?
I promoted.
We have 2 David
We
Wilders.
have 3 David Wilders.
I only see 2.
I don't know.
David Wilders ×2, we're trying to promote you to panelist, or we can allow you to talk. You don't have to turn your camera on, but we can't hear from you if you decline.
Okay. So there's one up there.
Now
come on.
So we just need 1 speaking because there's 2 turned on? Or you
Hold
just
on,
say-
hold on a second. Hi, are you able to hear us?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry for the confusion. Happy New Year to all. I've attended a couple of your meetings in the past. I'm actually the owner's representative. Our owner, Rajmar, took a very bad fall and is recovering in hospital. So I'm just here. Yeah, thank you. I'm here in a minimal capacity. I'm going to let our managers, our senior managers, Tushar, and we have Ajay here to answer the bulk of your questions, but I'm always available to you if you have further insights or comments. So.
Okay, great. Great. So we don't have anyone else from the public. So we have the applicant, owner's rep, and then the manager here. Hello, thanks for taking the time and thanks for your patience. So does anyone from the committee want to start with this one?
Yeah, I think the one thing is that there's a storm enclosure there now, which doesn't have anything to do with this plan. But you have the storm enclosure outside. The storm enclosure that people are sitting in on the sidewalk.
Yeah, there is a 6 table.
Right.
There is 6 table and 10 people sitting.
Right.
So
You're not allowed to, that's an enclosed sidewalk cafe, and you're not allowed to have one.
They're asking about the storm enclosure that's outside.
Yeah.
Our front door.
Yeah, outdoor, yeah.
So, Ajay, are you in the phone call as well? We have Ajay Dakal.
Just allow me.
Hold on one second. I'm sorry for the delay. Hold on one second.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Ajay, are you on our phone call? Ajay Dakal? He's actually on vacation in Kathmandu, Nepal, so we're trying to see if he's there to join us. Okay. So I guess your point is what we have now is not allowed. Is that the point you're making?
Storm enclosure is permitted, a normal storm enclosure. You are not permitted to have seating in it.
Okay.
You're also not permitted to have smoking in the sidewalk cafe. The old rules, you could do that for a third of the sidewalk. I realize you're a cigar bar, but the rules are that now that there is no smoking in any of the sidewalk cafes.
So even though we have one of the 6 tobacco licenses, we're not allowed to have that.
Correct.
For which entity, the Department of Health?
Yes, it's written into the Dining Out NYC rules.
Okay. So what you're saying is if we have the outdoor area, it has to be non-smoking
Correct.
for all the tables that we have, tables and
Correct.
seats that we have.
Correct.
So there's really, well, I guess for people who don't want to smoke, it could be the non-smoking area is what you're saying. Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Well, I know smoking is not very popular these
It's
days.
actually making a comeback,
It is
if you would
making a
be, with the
comeback.
younger people.
But
And your cigar bar seems to be well used, so people like their cigars too.
yeah, we appreciate that. I mean, the problem we have is it's actually a very seasonal business. So, obviously when it's cold out, people love sitting inside in this dark, smoky bar. But when the weather is better, it's as you would imagine, a very important source of revenue for us to pay all these hideous expenses that we pay every month after being here over 35 years. So our rent doesn't go down, it goes up, as you can imagine. So your main objection is there should be no smoking, but you're okay.
It's not our objection, it's what's in the rules. I put it in the chat. It's from
Okay.
the rules. That's
Okay.
it. It's not our
Okay, thank you.
objection.
Okay.
And then the other part is the enclosed, no seating in the storm enclosure.
No seating in the storm enclosure. Okay.
I think the diagram, if they follow that, looked okay.
Yeah, in the diagram, it's just the tables outside, as I understand it, right? I have it right near me here. Hold on a second.
Yeah, it's a very simple diagram, and we're always concerned about the perimeter borders, so it doesn't get out into the pathway. And that particular stretch of Hudson, kind of notorious for going, not having any borders. So as long as we're defining the edge of the cafe and providing a barrier to define it, then we're good. I mean, tables and chairs sketch look okay.
Okay, thank you.
My only comment was just that there are a couple boxes that need to be checked. Let me share my screen.
Okay.
Just very minor. So on the page after the site plan, there are these boxes here. There's furnishing. I don't know if you can see.
Furnishings, I have a copy in front of me here.
Okay. So yeah, the furnishings boxes, and then do you guys have an awning?
It's a retractable awning.
Okay, yeah, so then this section of boxes as well.
Okay, so these 2 sections have to be filled out and then resubmitted to you?
Yep.
Right.
Okay, we can just email that, is that right?
Yep,
Okay,
And to DOT as well.
yeah.
to community board and DOT. Okay,
Yep.
Understood.
Cool, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions or comments from the committee, from the applicant?
Okay, thank you for your time, as
Yeah.
always.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night. Thanks for your patience. Okay, great. So that's number 1 is done. And then the last one we have is agenda item number 8. So I'm closing the public hearing on Hudson Bar and Books and opening it up for agenda item 8, which is Rehandari LLC, DBA Kobrick Coffee at 24 9th Avenue for a Sidewalk Cafe. And I don't believe we were expecting the applicant.
I don't see anybody.
So I don't see anyone with their hand raised, or anyone who wishes to testify on this application. Please raise your hand. Okay, seeing none. So I'm going to move that to business session. And so let's go to business session now. So do you want to go in order, 1 through 7, 1 through 8? Okay, so Hudson Bar and Books.
I think we're
Two main
good with
comments,
the-
right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Let's need to wait on Brian.
So the modification is,
What about?
check the boxes, ADA boilerplate and, no smoking permitted in Sidewalk Cafe, and remove, do you want to add remove seating from the?
Yeah, no enclosed sidewalk cafe.
Or, yeah, remove eating from within the storm
Storm
enclosure or modify
Storm enclosure.
storm enclosure.
So that it's not enclosed.
Well, so that the seating.
What they say it's supposed to be like 5 feet by 5 feet. Where did we get that number from?
Oh, yeah,
From DOT or
Yeah,
something?
there's some size that it has to be.
So you could say reduce.
But I'm not sure, it's not, I don't know that it's larger than it's supposed to be, honestly. Maybe
It's
it
just
is.
like very.
Well, they just have seats in it. Did I put one in there?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I took one.
Is that the only table?
No, there's 4 tables in there, I think.
And it probably is larger than 25. I mean, already
Did I
this
not
this
put
looks like.
anything in that's,
And that was recently, I think, was that rule amended in the last few years for the?
for how big it can be?
Storm enclosure.
I feel like it came up when we talked about 2 hands.
I mean, then this is probably already 25 square feet if this is 5 by 5. So if they have
Right, you can't have seating somewhere.
Right, you
So
can't
it's
see that.
either make the enclosure smaller and have the seating outside of it, or.
Move the tables that don't have seating. Okay, so on agenda item 1 for Hudson Bar and Books, we're gonna say they either need to remove the tables from the storm enclosure, not have seating in there, or they need to resize the storm enclosure. Okay,
I thought that the storm enclosure vestibule was a limited size in the first.
that's where I said it was 5 feet by 5 feet is what I thought.
That's what I thought too.
Yeah,
So-
it came up with 2 hands. Remember that came up?
Yes,
I don't know where, I don't remember where that,
yeah, I
Came from,
actually see
but-
it all over.
but it was like in the
place, you know,
rules, yeah.
Way too many.
Okay, so all those in favor for approval with modifications?
Aye.
Aye. Great. Next, Pineiro Rest Inc., DBA Jeans Restaurant, 73 West 11th Street for a sidewalk cafe. They need to make a change on the plan of some sort.
Primary building entrance to the front.
Okay. So with that approval with modifications, they were gonna resubmit the site plan?
Yeah.
So approval with modifications, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next, Flippers NYC LLC DBA Flippers at 337 West Broadway for a sidewalk cafe. They also needed to amend their site plan to do what?
Just to check furnishings boxes, check awnings boxes. Did we want to tell them to move the location of the street light on their plan?
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
important because I think that can impact all the measurements, right?
Yeah. Okay, so with those three modifications, approve Flipper Sidewalk Cafe with modifications, all those in favor? Aye. Okay. Next, we have Damselle LLC DBA Lords at 506 LaGuardia Place. And from what I recall, they can actually have a wider sidewalk cafe set up to at 9 feet at the max. So extending that from 6 feet. And then they need to come in on the left side or on the south side for the primary building entrance.
Okay.
So approve and the awning box and the PBE box, right?
Yep.
Okay, so all those in favor to approve with modifications for Lords? Aye. Great, next, we have Gansevoort LLC DBA Coffee Cocktails, Coin NYC Saishin, 18 9th Avenue. Did we need him to make any changes to
We
the
just
plan?
need him to submit the plan he submitted to
Okay,
us.
submit the plan to us being, the one he showed.
That one
to
with the
us,
12
okay.
feet around all the tree pits.
But we can say specifically adjust for the 12-foot clearance.
Okay, so with that, all those in favor to approve with modifications?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, number 6, Lure 142 Mercer Street LLC DBA Lure Fish Bar, 142 Mercer Street for a roadway cafe.
I mean, what are we pending FDNY?
Oh, okay.
The sign is a.
Yeah,
is
so
supposed
this is
to
a
be-
denial.
Yeah.
Although, do we want to reach out to like Kate Scherer about the sign?
Yeah, we should ask Mark to follow up because it's pretty quick. This came up when we had the application, traffic and transportation for residents wanting to have a loading zone because there was nowhere to stop. And during that, we'd gone through all the parking signs on the block and noted that this one was.
Can you send me that link that had the
street sign?
Yeah, that link with the green on the left, and can someone send that to me so we can send it to Kate?
Yeah. The picture, the snapshots in the drive
Okay.
actually might be easier. It takes a couple of steps to.
Oh,
to it.
okay. But can I just take a screenshot of that?
It's already screenshot.
Yeah, it's in the.
Oh, okay. Of that,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, that was a screenshot that was.
Oh, okay.
So we had just inventoried all the signs as we'd gone through that, that were on the street, and that's where.
So what do we just say, hey, Kate, there's a sign, there's a no standing anytime sign that's missing here.
There's.
Are you
two
going to put it
signs
back in?
missing. There's the sign post has two signs on it. One pointing to the north, it's no parking, 8 AM to 6 PM, Monday through Friday. And then pointing to the south, no standing,
8 AM to 6 AM?
8 AM to 6 PM. And then pointing south, no standing anytime.
Okay.
And I believe, like you see those throughout the West Village, those are generally put in for the radiuses for the fire trucks.
Okay.
For all the ladder trucks to make turns. And because here,
Okay.
this is where all the tiller trucks
I'll just send the
go
email.
through. Right, it's important to point that out, because you also might want to alert the.
Can you type that to me?
Yeah, you might want to alert the fire department during their review process for the width as well.
Okay, so is this a denial?
Well, I don't know. I was just wondering about that. This is, first of all, unusual, and I'm just learning about this site plan with all the signs indicated, but sign's not there. And isn't this wouldn't that be an option for us to say that just like we always put the language, as long as you comply with the rules or as long as you follow all city laws and that sort of thing. That's.
I think they took the sign
I think we
out.
want to get an answer on the sign.
Yeah, I feel like they
we
took
wanna
the
get
sign
an
out.
answer on the sign.
Right, well, it's sort of like a deny unless.
There's also only like an 11, like less than 12-foot travel lane. And we've always
Denied anything below 15.
Oh, it's been so long, I forgot.
Mhm.
Then, yeah.
Because we're gonna stop having roadway for a while. once-
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
mention
no,
it.
we did deny everything with the FDMY waiver, so.
And there's parking, if I remember, permitted on the south side of
For the
Prince Street.
hotel.
And on the south side of Prince Street, which is why that turning is so important on the weekends. And that came up from Finelli's, I believe, right? I just know,
Right.
and so, I mean, I don't know if anybody's seen flames shooting 20 feet above the building in Soho. I have.
So all those in favor?
This is the ladder trucks. This is ladder 20 getting there. This is ladder 9. This is, ladder truck
Big
over
truck,
here,
big truck.
making these turns so they can set up in front of the buildings. And, it literally is every second counts because
Are we ready to vote?
they're all
Yeah,
wood
before my
inside.
computer does.
So-
We're ready to vote? Any unwillingness to vote? Okay, so all those in favor to deny 142 Mercer Street LLC DBA Fish Bar? Aye.
We're making a point of the sign as
Well,
well.
so there's no unless,
No, because we've denied all the FDMY
There was
ones.
no one.
okay, so we're saying denied because of these items that we were listing. Not enough width, not enough.
It's supposed to be a parking sign.
And,
Yeah.
yeah, it's supposed to be a no standing
No
sign.
standing sign.
Okay,
So all those in
All
favor
right,
for denial?
yes, aye.
Aye, okay,
next one.
thank you. Next, we have TEC Hudson LLC DBA Toby's Estate Coffee.
Weren't they okay, except they can expand, right?
There's hesitation
Should that be
to
a
expand.
modification? I don't think we need to.
No, I don't think it's a
Tell-
modification, I just think we want an updated.
We want the plan, this is the only way to get the plan.
Right.
Right, so like
So
modification.
if they're, modify their,
If enlarging sidewalk cafe.
I mean, I think they,
As presented, it's approvable.
well, yeah, except I
You
think,
could modify.
So
it
why
to
are we
be
making them
larger.
do it then? Why don't we just approve it?
because you can't walk around in it, there's
If
no
they-
room
Okay.
to
if they
navigate
say-
the area they have.
The reason is because if they say we can do this bigger and then they do it, they're putting themselves in a position, because if you recall, these are all gonna be posted online, unlike the previous program.
Okay, so
you want a
approve with
compliant
modifications.
Situation.
Well, absolutely,
whatever.
and we don't want to design it for them.
Right,
We did point out the dimensions that they could apply and get more space for their cafe. I also noticed that they wrap around the corner, but the cafe did not.
No,
okay, that's good.
But the thing is, it looked like they misunderstood the rules
Yeah,
when they did this, because they counted the manhole as a
Right,
as a
as a-
clearance requirement, and then they miscalculated the corridor.
Yeah. So.
So all those
Do
in-
we, are we putting into our notes to them this, the dimensions that could be adjusted?
It could be up
And
to.
would that list also include the corner being available?
No, and the biggest thing is that in this space, it's the width. I don't know what you're asking for, but it's the width and, all right, whatever.
they can extend the width, right?
No, we're talking about advising them about what the
No,
criteria.
that's not true. What we're doing is that they misinterpreted the rules, Brian. That's why they have a 12-foot clearance from a manhole. right?
Oh,
And that's an
All right, well,
important distinction,
right.
because they weren't advised
We can call it
after however
I'm
long
surprised that,
they
yeah,
submitted it.
I'm surprised that the DOT didn't make it bigger for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Okay,
the previous person at that location, if you just give me 1 second.
we still have to look at Kobrick Coffee.
Yeah, so I just think part of the agreement with the community was that the Sidewalk Cafe was only on Hudson Street,
Okay.
I believe, but don't completely quote me on that.
All right, so all those in favor to approve with modifications for Toby's Estate Coffee Sidewalk Cafe? Aye.
Yes.
Okay, great. Next, we have Rehandari LLC DBA Kobrick Coffee for a Sidewalk Cafe. The applicant did not appear, which was not mandatory, but we do need to talk about it. So let's quickly.
So the problem is the same problem that we have in that location, which is that they have, that they have marked it. I don't have my glasses with me. But they are including the whole plaza as part of this. So,
Can we just ask them to do what was on the historic plan?
I didn't see that story.
Is there a pathway to compliance?
Yes, there's definitely a pathway to compliance. They need to, just give me 1 second. What is the historic plan?
It's 8 feet clearance from the old Hudson Street.
I mean, I see they have over 12 feet clearance. I guess I don't see what the problem is.
Well, because they don't.
It's
It's a public plaza, so I can't see my thing if anybody wants to.
The one thing going for them is that it's.
See, they're not marking, so they're not marking what the sidewalk is.
Right.
The sidewalk is 20 feet approximately.
I was saying it's 49 feet.
So it's not 49 feet. The
Okay, so I need
other
to
part of it is the
update that.
public plaza. And then once you go from the 20 feet, you need to just come in the 12 feet.
So you'd be 8 feet?
It's just.
It's
What's not
compliant to
compliant?
what? I mean, 49 feet, where is the
No,
sidewalk?
meaning
Where's the
that the
sidewalk?
seating coming off the building is compliant. These measurements may not be accurate.
But they have 8 feet. So does that say, if you don't
What
have
do
my
you mean?
glasses?
It says its clear path is 12 feet.
Right, but from where? Because this part it's 20 feet for the sidewalk. So if you need a 12-foot clearance, that leaves them with, it's the same
All right, so
thing.
then that's our
Right,
recommendation.
so they may, I mean, their seating may work. They may be able to do that seating or not, but it needs to be sorted out so that the sidewalk is not 49 feet. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Yeah. Write that in, so 20-foot sidewalk, subtract 12 feet clearance. Leaves only
About 8 feet, approximately 8 feet.
All right, okay, so approve with modifications. All those in favor for Kobrick Coffee?
Aye.
Aye, great. New business, we received no applications last week. We received 2 this week. I'll tell you what they are if I can pull them up quickly, and then if there's any other new business.
You said we received none last week, right?
We received none last week. We received Cork Wine Bar for I don't know what this is. Oh, it's Broadway Cafe and Cabin Sidewalk Cafe. Ha 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 Mexicana for a Sidewalk Cafe. That's it. So 3 applications. Right. Is there any other new business? Is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
A second. Great. So Donna and Brian. So all those in favor? Aye. Thank you very much. Thank you for those online. and have a good night. This meeting is adjourned at 8:42 PM.